Well, every step leaves a lasting footprint. That's the motto when it comes to the 0.1K Spoof Run that raises money for hospice care of Southwest Michigan. The fun event is Saturday, September 22nd, coming up in downtown Kalamazoo. We want to welcome Sarah Kerry to the studio this morning to talk more about this event. Good morning, Sarah. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
So I got a kick out of this. So it's supposed to be kind of a spoof of like 5K, you know, what those type of events you see. Tell us a little about, you know, what makes this event so special.
Well, we're not quite the marathon, so people don't always train for a real long time in advance. Usually going to the refrigerator to get a drink and back is about enough.
There you go.
But it's just kind of a lighthearted way to bring the concept of hospice out to the community, make them a little bit more aware of our programs, what we do, the resources we offer, let them know about who we are.
It's a really interesting idea. Do you know who came up with it, how they came up with it?
I do. Well, sort of. I know one of our board members actually brought the idea to us. He had been to a similar event in Grand Rapids. I'm not sure if it's still running or not. And he thought it'd be a great way to really kind of highlight hospice in our community, but then also to bring awareness to downtown and the retailers and restaurants that we partner with.
Absolutely. And tell us about, the money raised at this event, where it goes.
Sure. So all of the proceeds from sponsorships and race registrations and donations the day of all go to our agency directly to help us provide community care. So we are an agency that believes in never turning anyone away that is eligible for hospice care in the community, regardless of individual ability to pay. So anyone who can't afford it, it's not a factor that we consider. We care for everyone equally, no matter what. So this is how we do that in large part as well.
Absolutely. And tell us about a little bit the role of hospice care, who you guys help.
Sure. We help really the entire community, regardless of age or obviously financial ability, but it's anyone who in the medical community would be deemed within the next 6 months it's reasonable that they may pass. Doesn't mean that they will, and oftentimes that actually happens where they don't end up passing that time, but if it's reasonable to expect that they would pass in the next 6 months, then they would be eligible for hospice care in our community.
Okay, and that can be a service that is very difficult to afford for some families. It's just, it can get very expensive. Can you tell us why, you guys are so important to be there for members of the community that need that help?
Yes, it is, medical care in general is expensive, and it's not something that's always covered by insurance or covered by Medicare. And so that is oftentimes a cost burdensome factor for families, and you should never have to choose between caring for your loved one and your family member, whether it's in home or in a facility, like Rose Arbor, Glen Arbor that we operate, or in an assisted living facility, and whether or not you could afford that. That's not something that we want to be a factor in their healthcare decisions, so we try to be there for them.
Absolutely. And Sarah, so a very important issue and a very fun event to help raise money for it. So if you're interested, that's coming up. That was the 22nd.
Yep,
okay, Saturday the 22nd. Awesome. Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.